It's depressing. It gives you like no hope. It's like, if you've gotten this low, how much lower can you go?
I mean, you seem to have kind of a good attitude.
I'm trying, and you know, I have to for them. I have to have that attitude for my kids, because if I don't have that attitude, it's just going to get worse and worse for us. You know, you have to be positive about a situation in order to move up from it. We had 2 weeks to be out of the trailer, and we did nothing but look for another place, and we just couldn't find anything, and that's why we're here.
Like, this is my first time not having my own place, not having my boys, so it's hard. I mean, I've called on over 15 different apartments and have been rejected just about almost every single one of them because of my income.
The whole situation has been worse for the kids and us attitude-wise. It's a hard adjustment to make for them. So if they could keep people in one place for the whole 28 days, it'd be so much easier. I don't know if they can, but it'd be easier.
Yeah. What do you think about when people say that motel voucher program is like a BandAid?
I think there's some truth to that. Yeah, it's attacking the symptom and not the cause. So there's two components to the general assistance housing program. One is called catastrophic, and that would be, as you might imagine, fire, flood, natural disaster, whereby people can come who do not have the means financially and get assistance for up to 84 days. The second way is for folks who've been determined to be vulnerable, and that's folks over the age of 65. It's folks on what we call SSI, Social Security Disability, families with children under the age of 6, and it's also for women in their 3rd trimester. If they're deemed eligible, they're then eligible for up to 28 days.
Would you stay at the Budget Inn?
No.
Why not?
Have you been over? You've got pictures from the inspectors. No, I wouldn't stay there.
Would you send a family there?
No.
And the things we see on a daily basis, you know, would just amaze you.
Everything from people trespassing to thefts to disorderly conducts to citizen assists and animal problems.
That's at Budget?
No, this one's the north.
One of the things that the city of Barrie encountered were that in a specific hotel, a number of smoke detectors, and their typically combination smoke and CO detectors, had been disabled, whether it be by guests or staff. We can't determine that, but it was observed during the inspection. The property was cited. They were actually given a fine from the state of Vermont for it. They corrected the violation and put in practices and policies to ensure that wouldn't happen again. 2 weeks later, there was an incident, a carbon monoxide incident. One of the heating units at the property failed, and one of the rooms that had no protection prior to the inspection started going off. The carbon monoxide was detected in the room, and 2 young ladies were able to escape. Had those CO detectors not been fixed, there's definitely a possibility and a strong likelihood that those 2 individuals may have succumbed to carbon monoxide, which is an odorless, tasteless gas that just would overcome you without any knowledge. Yep.
And you die.
And you, yeah, absolutely.
And how many missing detectors did you find in that building?
In that specific property, it was 41.
It's up to us. It's not up to anyone else. It's our community. These are our family. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are the people that we see going home, and it hurts when you can't rent to them. It's hard to say, sorry, you don't qualify. Where are they going at night?
There's no garbage cans in the rooms. No soap like a regular hotel would have. There's 1 vacuum for every room. Well, 1 vacuum to share, and you have to go to the office and ask for that. But I mean, this place is not my cup of tea.
Yeah, it doesn't look like the best place.
I think there's been less here because our beds are completely wrapped in this. But this is what I mean by that. It's like, why would you have a bed
Just
wrapped in plastic.
So are both hotels up to code then? Everything?
Yep. We're all set. We've made sure we've brought everything up to code. Everything's up to their code, and both of them are on the remodel, so there's still stuff expanding that we've run into stuff hidden. But we're fine.
So there's not any bed bugs in here or in the
No.
budget in?
Nope. I've eliminated them. And if there is, it would be somebody hasn't notified us that they've brought them in.
What about when there's that? We saw one mattress where it was covered in plastic.
That we do as a deterrent. If we've had where somebody's come in and they have brought them in before, wrap them in plastic. We used sprays on them that's meant for them, and then we wrap them in plastic. It chokes them.
One hotel told us that their method for killing bed bugs was wrapping the mattress in plastic. Is that a common practice?
I haven't heard of that practice. It would not. No. Really, no. I mean, there's some different ways. The number one best way to deal with bed bugs is by far heat.
Right. So the current lodging regulations don't specifically address pests. So we follow up on every complaint that we receive from the public. Bed bugs are not reportable, so it's really usually the public that tips us off that they have a suspicion or a concern about bed bugs.
Remember that the state rules were created in 1975. Do you have that copy of that?
I mean, I know there's people out there, and a lot of them stay at the Budget Inn that use the system or abuse the system instead of use it the way it's supposed to be. I know people like that. So
Because as you guys are well aware, if you've been talking to people, they come with issues, as do we all.
well, my wife and my mother, I was living with my mom, and they had a falling out, and which affected us all.
I had a charge that was that I was dealing with.
I know what you're saying. We don't like to, assign blame or fault with the individuals we're working with. And, a lot of the time, in some cases you could say, oh yeah, it's their fault. They did this and this and this. But, a lot of the time we try to look at the actual circumstances and find that, people, for example, don't have very good, maybe they're spending a lot of their money on something completely useless that they shouldn't be, or wasting money in a certain area, or not managing their money.
Some of this is they have to take some responsibility for themselves still. You can't have DCF holding your hand all the time.
If somebody's disabled, we want to reach out and help them as much as we can. It's that fine line between enabling somebody and helping somebody to move toward independence.
SEDO. I have to have that attitude for my kids. Because if I don't have that attitude, it's just going to get worse and worse for us. You have to be positive about a situation in order to move up from it.